Hello. It is Sunday. It is morning. I have some books and things to wrap up. So what I read, what I watched, what I'm getting rid of, what I'm keeping. I feel like I didn't read that much this past week. And then I look at my stack and we see the large books in there. It's just how it is every time. If I read only 1, 2, 3, 4, if I only read 5 books, even if 2 of them are over 500 pages long, I'll be like, what the hell is that? But let's get going. First up, the first thing I read was Coffee on the Mile, which is the 6th part of the Green Mile. I've read the Green Mile before, and so because of that, and because of, just saw this sticking off a box that was bothering me. Because of that, and because of the fact that I just now have random copies of the serialized version in the book wall, I am counting them as separate books. But I did read this. This is the first thing I've really gone back into the Green Mile for since reading it. I've only read it once. One of the Stephen King books I haven't read it very many times. But no, the Green Mile, if you weren't aware, is one of Stephen King's more literary works. It follows this prison guard who works on death row, and a man who not only is probably innocent, but has some kind of force inside of him. It's probably The Shining. But no, this was, it's good. It's a good book. Objectively speaking, 5 out of 5 stars. It's not a Stephen King book that I feel super strongly about, and especially given the fact that I only read the last part here. Like, I think that made it so it didn't affect me as much as it might have if I had reread the entire book. All right, then I read a book with a group of my 5th graders. We read The Lightning Thief. This is just solid middle grade literature. I mean, everybody knows it. I know it. You know it. Rick Rider knows it. The 5th graders know it. This did have the very nice effect of getting one of them absolutely obsessed with Greek mythology, which is what Percy Jackson is for. But in case you were unaware, Percy Jackson is a middle grade series about following a boy named Percy Jackson, who is the son of one of the Greek gods, and about all his adventures. And there are 1,000 books in the series. It was a good time. I think I gave it 4 stars? 4 or 5? I don't know. The series does get better as it goes along. I think in the first series, my favorite book is The Titan's Curse, or Battle of the Labyrinth. Or maybe The Last Olympian. Not The Last Olympian. Is that what I can never remember the last book's name. Is it in here? Because I can genuinely, no, it's not, because it's too old. Genuinely, I never remember the last book's name. But the last 3 books in the series are like miles above the first 2, in my eyes. But I did read it. It was a good time. All right, now let's get into the worst book of the week, Docile by K.M. Zapara. And I heard about this book like years ago. I was scrolling around on Electric Lit when I was working at the library, and I saw this and it looked interesting. And so I put it on my thrift books wish list. Now, last year, I cleared out my thrift books wish list entirely, and I bought the books that I was interested in, and I deleted the books I wasn't. And this is one of those books that I bought because I was interested in it. Because the concept of this is that it's a futuristic world where you can kind of sell your debt to become basically an indentured servant. A lot of people, when they do this, they take this drug that makes them kind of just forget everything and become super pliable, super willing to do whatever. And so as a result, a lot of sick stuff happens. And this follows our main character, who sells his debt, but he doesn't want to take the drug. And genuinely, this felt like something you would read on AO3. It absolutely did. No, so I don't say Wattpad because it's gay. So AO3. That's what it felt like. And it's like, it wasn't like, the writing wasn't bad, but the characterization was so shallow in AO3. And I'm not saying that AO3 is bad. I'm just saying that this didn't read like something that was published by Tor. Man, like, this is published by Tor. It's a rape fic. That's what it is. 2 out of 5 stars. All right. Then I read a nonfiction true crime book, and that is Cannibal by Lois Jones. This is about Armin Muse, who was the guy who was posted on cannibal forums, and eventually he found somebody who's like, yeah, I want somebody to eat me, and he was like, yeah, I want to eat somebody. So then they met up and he ate him. One thing about this book that was interesting was that the author was very, very flashy and fun with her writing style. Like, she wrote this like she was Poppy Z. Brite. Not like to the extent of Poppy Z. Brite, but it was genuinely like kind of like written in a semi-erotic tone at some point. And I was like, is this the tone we want to take with this actual real life cannibalism that happened? Because it was very fancy. And granted, the author is German. I don't know if this was translated or if she wrote it in English. I do think that if it is not translated, if she is a German author who wrote this in English, which is what I think happened, honestly, I think that explains it more, because I know that when I'm writing in my second language, I'm a lot fancier than otherwise. So I think it's, but overall, it was an interesting true crime book. I had some fun with it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. All right, then I watched a movie. So I moved that over a bit. I rewatched Pet Sematary. I love Pet Sematary. I genuinely think this is one of the better Stephen King adaptations. This one is on VHS, and it is in such nice condition too. Oh my gosh, like, you do not know true love until you put in a real nice crisp VHS into a VCR and watch it on like a CRT TV. Like, you cannot, it's not near as good if you watch old movies on like new TVs. You watch them on your CRT and they're, oh my gosh, it's wonderful. Pet Sematary, if you did not know, man moves family to new house, little boy gets run over, buries in the pet cemetery, comes back to life, starts eating people. Fun time. It's a good time. Genuinely, again, I think this is one of the better Stephen King adaptations. I have not seen the newer version. I don't really want to, just because they killed the little girl instead. I'm like, that's not the story. The story is they killed the little boy, because the little girl's kind of annoying. Like, and genuinely, that's my least favorite part of this movie is Ellen Creed is so annoying. Like, just the little girl they have playing her is just, oh God. She's always at like a 14, and I'm like, you gotta turn it back a little bit. But no, fantastic movie. I really enjoyed it. Can you balance? Wonderful. It's not as easy when it's a VHS tape. Like on DVD, I could like pop it open. But all right. Then yesterday I did finish a reread of The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, and I'm just so mad that that he's such a good writer. I did give this 4 out of 5 stars. I don't think it's as good as like any of his other stuff, but I do understand how and why it gets so many people into his writing, because this is, I think, the most accessible of his work. Not saying he's not accessible, because he genuinely is. He's a very accessible author. In case you didn't know, Mistborn: The Final Empire is the first book in a 3-book trilogy that then has a 3-book spinoff, but it follows a group of people, a thieving crew, in a world that has been taken over by the Lord Ruler, who is it's a very oppressive situation. The kind of common people are very oppressed. Like, it's like we're talking serfs in Russia kind of situation, worse. And it follows the thieving crew that are made up of people who have this power, this mistborn power, where when they burn metals, they have like different like powers or whatever. It's a good book, and it honestly, this is what got me into Brandon Sanderson for a long time. This is the only thing about Brandon Sanderson that I did enjoy reading. I do think that, like I said, it's the most standard of all of his books, and it's also not that long. I mean, it's 550 pages, so like you feel kind of accomplished reading it, but like it's not like 1,400 pages words of radiance. So there's that. I did give it 4 out of 5 stars. I think previously I have given this 5 stars, but I genuinely wasn't all that interested until Ellen showed up, and I was like, oh, I just like Ellen. That's what it is. So there's that. But so this is what I read and watched last week. So obviously I'm keeping this. I'm gonna get rid of this because I already have a full set of these. This is not mine. I'm getting rid of this, and I am keeping this. So what I received. I have a stack of books. I have 1 DVD. I would have had more books, but my package fucking lost. I'm so mad about it. It might still come. I hope it still comes, but I was supposed to get a whole bunch on Monday, and only one of them came. The one that was shipped separately came. Anyway, the DVD, I did pick up Zom 100. This is the full, I don't know if there were more than 1 season, but this is the full first season, 12 episodes, fun times. And then the books, this is the one that came This is one that was shipped separately, so I did get Under the Rainbow by Celia Lasky, which is a, from what I can tell, this is a book following this very small town that gets put under fire, and then this big, like, LGBT brigade comes in, kinda like the prom. We don't remember the prom. Never Be Gay in Indiana. This is, I think it was in Kansas, though. But it looked interesting. And then a pre-order came in, and that is Go Luck Yourself by Sarah Rosh. This is a sequel companion to Nightmare Before Christmas, which was like one of my last books of 2024. I really enjoyed it. This one we follow the brother, Chris, who I really enjoyed in the first book, and his dalliance with the Prince of St. Patrick's Day. So very seasonal. Oh my gosh, it's St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. Am I going to read it before tomorrow? No, but I'm excited. All right, then I did get a lot of books off of eBay. This is just standard YA. This is like YA that was coming out when I was in college. So this isn't YA that was coming out when I was in high school, which is like what the last lot was. This is when I was in college. I've read one of these. So we've got Red Queen. Never read it. Six of Crows. I have read Six of Crows. I have not read The Crooked Kingdom, but I have read Six of Crows. Ember in the Ashes. Never read it. And Scythe, never read it. I did read the Unwind series and really enjoyed it when I was a child, however. And then I did also get a New Yorker that is kind of falling apart. This is the March 10th New Yorker. So hopefully next week I will have my sad stack of books that was supposed to be here this week to show you. That would be great. If not, I will probably complain about it next week. But yeah, that is that. I gotta put these books away. I'll talk to you later, and goodbye.